It's 8:35. Cat Neville in the house. Get to her in a second. Sponsored by Jimmy's on the Park, 706 to Munn in Clayton. 725-8585 or their website at jimmyscafe.com for menu and directions. What you need to do is you need to split yourself in half. That way you can get twice as much work done. Under the weather?
Yes, I have a bit of a chest cold.
Holy mackerel.
You
Your
sound bad.
Thank you.
She sounds fantastic. She looks great, as always.
I mean sound bad as if you don't feel well.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
And parents instilled that work ethic. You know what? You're playing hurt. You limped here into the studio, but by golly, game time.
I didn't even speed or anything.
Didn't even speed.
Maintained the speed limit.
There you go. All right, let's get to a couple restaurants for us.
Okay, so I have two picks from people that are extremely well known throughout the scene. One is a rethink of an existing restaurant, and the other is an expansion of a local favorite. Which would you like first?
Let's go with the first one.
Okay.
The
rethink?
Yeah, the rethink.
Okay, so Cassie Viers, who is one of our columnists and has been since we launched Feast, she is the woman, along with her husband Josh, behind Home Wine Kitchen, which I'm sure you're very familiar with, in Maplewood. And then recently, this past year, she opened up a restaurant called Table at 1821 Cherokee and in Benton Park. And so the concept behind Table was to make it a communal dining space. And she's always very focused on local foods, and she has a really fantastic comfort food, American food with a creative twist kind of an approach. So for about 6 months, they kind of ran with this communal dining concept. Did
you talk about it here? I think you did. Mention.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Okay.
And they just kind of came to the realization that people weren't really,
communal.
Wanted to be communal?
Didn't necessarily want to be communal. So, and this is what I think is a really tough and very brave thing to do in this industry, any industry where you put yourself out to the public.
Right.
She said, it's not working, so guess what? I'm going to rethink the concept. So the name is the same. The space is still that gorgeous, big space. If you've ever been there, it's got this like 20-foot ceilings, big chandelier. It's really beautiful. But it's no longer a communal dining restaurant, and they've rethought the menu. So rather than breaking it up by like hoof and beak, and she had this really cute way of doing like the central proteins or the central focus of the dishes, it's now more of a standard menu. And just to give you an idea, and Jess Paddock is her pastry chef, and Jess is extremely talented and has a wonderful influence on the menu. For example, with the cauliflower hand pies, they do this wonderful kind of a shortbread crust. So if you in shortbread, a short crust, it has like all that great butter in it, and they stuff it with this kind of a cauliflower puree. So it's kind of rich and earthy at the same time. And then that's served on top of an arugula salad. They have steelhead trout on the menu. And if you've ever had steelhead trout, it's kind of like a cross between what you're used to in trout and salmon. And it is served with this really crispy, kind of shatteringly a crisp skin on top, and then salt roasted beets. It's really lovely.
Beets do not get enough credit, by the way.
I love the beet.
Yeah, beets do not get enough credit.
I completely agree. Beets are wonderful. They're earthy and sweet. And in this kind of an application where the steelhead trout is very, very simply cooked so that all you really get is that terrific flavor and texture of the steelhead trout, the beet really kind of acts to just enhance it rather than cover it up. They also do things like mac and cheese, where they in the restaurant, they make their own, quote, Cheez-Its, unquote, that they kind of scatter on top of this really bubbly, indulgent mac and cheese. Big burgers with like fried bacon on top. So it's very American, but at the same time, like I said, it has that kind of a modern approach. And then they also have a really nice large bar with terrific beers and cocktails. And then they have kind of like this snack, area. They have a peanut butter hummus. They have pimento cheese spread. So it's terrific. And like I said, when people can kind of take a step back and say, I thought I wanted to go in this one direction, and you know what? I wasn't quite right, and so I'm going to rethink it because I'm dedicated to making this thing work. Right. I think that takes some serious guts.
No, I agree. I agree too. And instead of being embarrassed for thinking something wrong, they should be praised for trying something.
Absolutely.
And then when it doesn't work out, change it.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Completely right.
Right.
And like I said, when people like us, that we're in this industry where you put out things that are very creative, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And so I'm thrilled for Cassie and Josh and Jess over there.
I agree. Don't be afraid to fail.
No.
Right.
Right. Yeah. No. Try something. If it works, great. If it doesn't, try again.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
Are they open for just dinner or?
No, lunch and dinner. I need to double check the hours, but I believe lunch and dinner, and yeah. So I mean, it's a great spot. I'll tell you what. When we're off the air, I'll look at it, and then McGraw, you can update with the hours.
821 Cherokee, down in Ben Park area, right?
Yes.
Table. All right.
1821, right?
1821.
1821. Cherokee. What's number 2?
So number 2 is another person, again, very well known, Steve Gontram, who used to own and operate Harvest Restaurant, which is now owned and operated by Nick Miller, and a wonderful a fine dining restaurant. But Steve essentially did a 180. He owns 5-Star Burgers in Clayton on Maryland at 8125 Maryland, and there is now another location of 5-Star Burgers in Kirkwood, which is kind of a no-brainer because Kirkwood obviously is, such a family-focused, town, and so a burger place is perfect for that, and it's at 312 South Kirkwood Road, and I love 5-Star, and every time So I'm glad there's a second location. So Steve's dad actually has some 5-Star burgers out in the kind of the Southwest, like New Mexico. And so this menu is informed by that. It's not exactly the same, but my favorite burger is Dad's green chili burger, and he takes the Hatch green chilies and he fries them and serves that with a green chili mayo and then some pepper jack cheese on this big, thick kind of Angus burger. It's like, so you can barely get your mouth around it, and it's fabulous. They also have this gateway burger with smoked bacon, cheddar. It's topped with onion rings and like barbecue sauce, and they have like bison burgers, turkey burgers, veggie burgers, all that kind of good stuff. And they have salads and soup, but why would you even bother with a salad when you can have a burger? I mean, it's like that's what you're there to have. But they're wonderful. But the burgers are awesome. And then they have obviously like onion rings, fries, and they have this basket of mixed. You can do sweet potato and regular fries in one basket with the 2 dipping sauces, which is brilliant because I can never decide between the 2. Why are you making a face?
It just sounds so good. I mean, it's just.
I thought maybe you didn't
mouth-watering.
like the sweet potato fry.
No. I'm not a big fan of the sweet potato fry. I do like sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of sweet potato fry. Yeah, I don't know. But
maybe you haven't had them. A lot of times they'll be kind of like not crispy.
Yeah.
If they're not
true.
done correctly.
Right.
And so then, not so good.
Yeah.
But if here at 5-Star, they're perfect, which is why they're so packed.
Right down the middle, right down Kirkwood Road, right smack dab in the middle of Kirkwood and Kirkwood.
Yep, exactly right.
All right, 5-Star, second location.
Yep.
And table on Cherokee Street. What's going on with FeastCom?
We went to press with the February issue, and Feast TV will air on Channel 9 this Saturday, which I'm very excited about. I think I mentioned to you, we went all the way to Stockton, Missouri for one of the segments, and that's 4 hours away. So it was like this 8-hour round trip drive. So that's this Saturday, and
do we know when on PBS?
Yes, it'll be Saturday at 2 p.m. during their block of cooking shows, and then the following Monday at 1.
Okay.
And then they run it throughout the month on 9 Create.
Right.
And then if you go to feaststl.com, you can see the full schedule.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good. Saturday, because that's right before the woodworking block of shows. So
and you're in good company.
You can catch a little cat and then catch a little woodworking.
Yeah.
So there you go. They should have a local woodworking show.
Maybe you could be the star.
Yeah, but maybe. Well, I'm banned. Charlie Brennan won't allow me on Channel 9, but maybe somebody, maybe whoever Charlie Brennan anoints could actually host that woodworking show. All right, feaststl.com.
Yes.
When should the February...
This weekend. So the February issue is being printed right now. Okay. So the February issue will hit the streets, and it's a kind of an ode to winter. So we've got black walnuts and whiskey, and we also are doing a piece on Tony's, which obviously a venerable restaurant.
Right.
They are doing a big renovation, and adding new menu items, changing their dress code, all this kind of stuff. So we've got the full report on that.
So I can wear flip-flops and ripped jeans?
Probably not.
You shouldn't. Let me say that.
Unless you're a rocker, unless you're Bruce Springsteen, then you can wear.
Then you can
anything
do whatever you want.
Which is what I've said. When you walk into a place and no one questions your dress, that's when you know you've arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Some no-name walks into Tony's with flip-flops and ripped jeans.
Yeah.
Get out. Bruce Springsteen walks in. Oh, Mr. Springsteen, come this way.
There. Well, okay,
Right.
sure.
So that's.
They still would probably behind closed doors say it's really unfortunate that he chose to come dressed in the ripped jeans.
But they would say that, and they'd be like, I can't believe Bruce Springsteen.
That's
was here.
true. That's true. Then they would take a picture.
Here.
Yeah.
But he'd be still eating their sandwiches. He'd still be eating their food. All right. FeastSTL.com, the TV show this weekend. You can subscribe to Feast instead of knocking over old ladies at newsstands. You can subscribe and get it delivered.
Please don't knock over old ladies.
That's right. So you should subscribe.
Anybody. How about that?
Sundays, you'll get it delivered Sunday with your Sunday St. Louis Post-Dispatch. You have to subscribe to Feast and to the paper. And to get a deal on the paper, go to stltoday.com/McGraw, and we'll give you some money off your Sunday subscription. Kat Neville, take care of that cold, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right.
All right. This is brought to you by Bertarelli Cutlery, keeping St. Louis sharp since 1967. Bertarelli is your one-stop shop for knife and tool sharpening, along with all of your kitchen supplies. Visit them at 1927 Marconi on the Hill or at bertarellicutlery.com.